Hello friends, it's your boy Treya, and today I'm here for another draft analysis. This one is for the SDA, also known as the Soul Do Association. This league is ran by my good friend A Prater, so thank you to him for allowing me to participate in this season. I'm very excited. I think I drafted probably my favorite team that I've drafted in Gen 9. It's very broken. I got some steals along the draft. We only got sniped once along the way, but I think I was able to make a recovery. And yeah, my team is absolutely disgusting, and I'm ready to take home a championship. So yeah, let's go ahead and just get straight into the draft, shall we? Alright, so with our first pick, I was 7th out of 16 in this draft, so basically smack dab in the middle. I wasn't sure what I wanted to pick up here. Just looking through some of the Pokemon that went before I got to choose. Ursaluna Blood Moon went first, Gouging Fire second, Iron Boulder, Terapagos, Latios, and Latias, and then it was my turn. So there were still a lot of really big Pokemon on the board. You know, you have like your Dragapult, you have Iron Valiant, you got Shifu Single, Palafin, Chiyu, Great Tusk. All of those Pokemon are still around because a lot of people are having that new toy syndrome. Between the Lotties being back, you know, you got Terapagos, Iron Boulder, Gouging Fire, and then Ursaluna Blood Moon was first round, which is a respectful first round pick. So I decided to kind of just pick the best Pokemon that I thought was available. I do have Dragapult in UMPL already, so I did decide to stray away from that to prevent confusing myself from using like my main Pokemon being the same thing in 2 leagues and like confusing myself with sets and stuff. I've only used this Pokemon one time, and I underperformed with it. It was my first draft league in like 2 years whenever I picked this thing up, and I'm very excited to use it again. We decided to pick up my good friend Iron Valiant. So everybody knows what Iron Valiant does by now. It does literally everything. It's got decent defensive bulk. It's got a great 116 speed. It's got special attack and physical attack out the ass. It's got amazing coverage for both sides. It's got, I think it has Disable. I know it has Encore, so it's got a bunch of different sets it can run. It can be Calm Mind, it can be Swords Dance. I don't think it gets Nasty Plot, thankfully. But yeah, booster speed, booster special attack, booster attack, Scarf, Ban, specs. It can be ran literally however I want. It's one of the most versatile Pokemon in the draft format, and that's what makes it so good, is that it has so much unpredictability. You can prep for a spec set, you can prep for a booster speed subset, and then you end up losing to a Calm Mind stored power set or something, you know. So it's very unpredictable, and that's why I thought it was going to be a good Pokemon. I did not think it was going to land to me at 7th, so I didn't even have it on my radar. Realistically, I was looking at something like Iron Boulder to fall to me, but yeah, Iron Valiant, I will take it. I would say top 3 Mon, whichever way you want to go in draft. It's up there with Dragapult. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our second pick. So getting into my second pick, I was at work at the time, and I really didn't get to look around to see what was left. Obviously, there had been about 15 picks, I think, or something like that between my picks, because like I said, I was in the dead middle, and so I really didn't get to look too much at what was around, but I did remember that there was something that caught my eye when I was looking through the tiers, and I noticed that in my league, I have this Pokemon set at 18 points. I think it's one of the best Pokemon in draft. I think its stats are amazing, and I did pick it up in my league in PMPL, but I will be taking it again just because I thought it was such a steal. I couldn't let anybody else have it, and I also thought it was just too good paired with Valiant for me not to take, so we decided to take Deoxys Speed for the second time in a row. So Deoxys Speed was tiered at only 15 points, which I thought was crazy low. I think Deoxys Speed is a great Pokemon, like I said before. Second fastest Pokemon in the game, right under Regieleki. Outspeeds Electrode and Electrode Hisui by 30 points. It's just a crazy Mon. Most of the time you don't even have to run that much speed on it. And it's just going to pair very nicely with Valiant. They can kind of break for each other. Deoxys gets access to Spikes and Stealth Rocks, as well as T-Wave support. I think it gets Taunt. It also gets Calm Mind and Nasty Plot. So yeah, very excited to use Deoxys Speed in now 2 leagues. But I think this team, having Deoxys as like my second option, I think is going to work out much better. But yeah. Coming in for my third pick, there was only I think at this point, 2 DLC 2 Pokemon that I have not picked up for one of my Wi-Fi leagues yet. I decided to go ahead and pick him up. He was also in the 15-point tier, which I think is respectable for it, and I was very excited that this thing made it to me. We decided to pick up Raging Bolt. I feel like everybody's got to try this Pokemon at least once. I think it's crazy good. It's basically Mega Ampharos, but better because it's faster and has more capabilities by not being locked into an item. It's got a base 75 speed, which is a very good speed tier for it. It's got insane bulk. It hits insanely hard. Thunderclap is a great move for it. I think it's better than Sucker Punch just because of it's just like, I think Calm Mind Thunderclap is just very good. We have Calm Mind Draco, we get booster sets, we can even run Scarf if we need to, we can run Specs, we can run it as a defensive piece with T-Wave if we really need to. But yeah, I think Raging Bolt is perfect for this team, and it very much fits well with some of the Pokemon we're going to get into soon. But yeah, that's why I was very excited to pick up Raging Bolt. So going into my next pick, I was once again at work. I had just gotten to work whenever it was my pick. I think it was early in the morning for me. And so I very quickly looked through the tiers, and once again something caught my eye that I thought was very underpriced. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work with this team, but I think just the sheer power that I've drafted so far is going to just go unmatched, and it might be too much for people to handle. We decided to pick up Spectrier for only 16 points. I think Spectrier is one of those Pokemon that could arguably be banned, depending on what other Pokemon you're banning in draft leagues. I think Spectrier is that good. Obviously, not having access to basically any way to hit normal types does suck a little bit. It gets walled by basically any normal type that has over 80 SPDF, but it's a very usable Pokemon. It gets more utility than people think. It does get Will-O-Wisp, it gets Disable. Sub-Disable is definitely a very good thing for it because of how fast it is. We get Calm Mind and we get Nasty Plot. Our speed tiers are looking phenomenal right now with Valiant at 116, Spectre at 135, and then we also have Deoxys speed at 180. Nobody's outspeeding this team, no matter what. So a lot of times we can probably get away with running more bulk on some of these mons because our team is just so fast. People are going to have a really hard time outspeeding some of these threats, as well as something we're going to get to very shortly. But yeah, Spectre, I thought it was a great pick. It plus Valiant plus Raging Bolt, nobody's switching into any special attacks. There's not a single Pokemon in the game except from Blissey and Chansey that's taking on all three of these on just special sides. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next pick. So getting into our next pick, I think it was finally time we decided to start rounding out this team with some actual serious picks, get a little bit of bulk, get some utility going. And I was looking around and I thought this Pokemon was perfect. I am definitely going to have to patch some weaknesses towards the end because right now I'm very weak to Fairy and we were about to add another one, but we decided to pick up Crocodile. I thought Crocodile fit this team very well. I think its speed tier fits in very well. It gives me a second rocker next to Deoxys speed. A dark type was very much helpful for Spectre. I think Spectre pairs very well with Crocodile. We have Raging Bolt that can handle most of Crocodile's weakness aside from Ice, but we do fix that later. And yeah, I think Crocodile was a good pickup. Scarf Moxie Crook is also very nice for this team because with its speed tier, being able to outrun anything that they Scarf for Spectre is more than viable. And then also having Intimidate for a team that is overly pretty frail between Deoxys and Valiant and Spectre, I thought was going to be very helpful. So yeah, I thought Crocodile was a very good pick, and yeah, that's why we decided to pick it up. Let's go ahead and get right into the next one. So with this next pick, I was starting to look at Terra Captains. So Terra rules were a total of 18 points for any Pokemon that was 10 and under, and I thought there were definitely some Pokemon in the 10-point tier that were better than others. There was one that I was looking at that I really wanted to use, but I did not think it fit this team well at all. It had a overlapping speed tier and also overlapping types, and I wish I would have caught it in the 10 points earlier because I probably would have not picked up something else. But I think it ended up working out because we were able to pick up, I would think, probably one of the best Terra Captains available. We decided to pick up Araquanid. So if you don't know what a Rockwood does, its ability Water Bubble, basically it gives a boost to all of its stab water moves, as well as prevents it from being burned, and it takes half damage from fire type moves. So it's basically a fire resist, which this team also needed because we don't have any, and we also do not really help our fire weakness going into some of the later rounds. But yeah, it's got a very good ability, and it's a Terra Captain, so we obviously gave it Terra Water. Terra Water, Water Bubble, boosted liquidations with a choice band, 2-hit KOs, basically anything that's not a Toxapex. It's kind of ridiculous how much damage it does. We decided to round it out with Terra Ground and Terra Steel as well. Terra Ground to take those electric type hits if we ever don't bring Crocodile, and then also Terra Steel, so if we need it, to be like a fairy check or anything like that, or also to resist rocks and toxic spikes if we're ever not bringing any removal, which as you can tell we currently don't have any. I thought it was fine. And then a Rockwood also gives us webs, which I think is perfect because Iron Valiant in webs is amazing. Deoxys speed in webs is amazing because they can't outrun you with Scarfers. Raging Bolt is ridiculous in webs. Spectre and Crocodile are both ridiculous in webs. Crocodile has a very viable Choice Scarf Moxie set, but Crocodile being able to hold a different item like Life Orb while still being Moxie and still being able to outspeed and everything because of webs is also ridiculously fun. So yeah, I thought Araquanid was perfect. Going into my next pick, I was really starting to look at my second Terra Captain. Like I said, it was 18 total. We picked up a 10, so I thought it'd be perfect to just pick up an 8. And there were some really good steals down there. And the Pokemon that I picked up that I had intended on being a Terra Captain was Galarian Slowbro. I ended up not making it my Terra Captain. I ended up picking up something else in the later rounds, which you guys will see then, just because I thought it fit the team better. But yeah, we decided to pick up Glowbro. I thought Glowbro was a perfect fit for this team. It gave me a grounded poison, another bulky mon with utility and offense. I think Glowbro is an amazing mon. I think it's very underrated, and it was only 8 points. I think Glowbro is hands down one of the I think it's a very good AV mon. It's probably one of the best AV mons you can get in the game. It's got very good stats. It can be ran offensive or defensive. It can be ran physical or special. It can even be ran mixed. It's good in Trick Room teams, which I think I could make work depending on how crazy I get with these builds. But yeah, I think Slowbro is going to be a very fun Pokemon. It's one I'm very comfortable with. I've drafted this thing hundreds of times in Gen 9, and yeah, I thought it was a perfect pickup for this team. So now, looking at our team, the one glaring weakness that I see, aside from the fire weakness, is that I have absolutely no removal whatsoever. Right now, I am heavily invested in Heavy Duty Boots Incorporated, and based on what I picked up, I might still be doing that. But yeah, I got my own webs, and I also have a decent amount of hazards between Deoxys and Crocodile, so I really wasn't in the market for Defog. I was more looking for spinners. I was looking around to see what was there. The steel type I wanted got taken from me, but this one works out just as well. So we got our steel type and a spinner. You know him, you love him. It's probably one of the most basic, boring Pokemon you can get in draft. We got Forretress. Forretress I have used before in a showdown league, and I was able to cook some very nice sets with it. And I think I should be able to do that here too. I'm very creative with my building. I'm very creative in prep, and so I think I can make Forretress do some fun things. Obviously, he can do what he does best. He's got sturdy Custberry Explosion. He's got decent coverage. He's got Volt Switch. He gets all 3 types of hazards, everything with sticky webs, and he's a spinner primarily. That's the main thing. But yeah, Forretress is going to be a fun Pokemon to use. He'll definitely be coming probably more than I want him to, just because I need the removal. But nonetheless, I'm very excited to use Forretress again. And like I said, I hope I get to cook some really nice sets for you guys to look at. And yeah. Alright, so going into this next pick, I still needed a Pokemon right around the 100 base speed range, and I also wanted to pick up another spinner. I saw this Pokemon down at the bottom, and I thought its typing and coverage would be perfect for this team, as well as giving me another spinner and the speed tier I needed. Unfortunately, I could not make it a Terra Captain, even though I think it would be a great one to add. We decided to pick up Cryogonal. So Cryogonal, everybody knows what it does. everybody knows what it does. It's kind of one of those Pokemon that just always gets drafted. Even though it's a 5-point mon, it always gets drafted because everybody knows what it does. It's a spinner. It's a decent Spadef wall. You can throw an AV on it, and you can take some hits from any special threats. It's got little to no recovery or utility. I think it gets haze. Other than that, this thing's kind of here to just be a spin bot. The speed tier might come in handy. Also, having access to freeze dry if we see any water ground types that I don't want to deal with. Cryogonal can definitely help with that. But yeah, everybody knows what Cryogonal does, and that's exactly what we got it for. We got it as a filler Pokemon. So yeah. Now going into my last pick, obviously this is going to be my last Terra Captain. I was looking through my team and I was just like struggling to figure out what I was really missing, and I definitely knew I needed some more bulk. I know Raging Bolt and Crocodile are kind of bulky offense, Slowbro's bulky offense, but I didn't really have a lot of truly just like mean walls. And I was also looking and I noticed that my fairy type was Valiant, and while Valiant is good, not having a like defensive fairy is not the greatest. So we decided to pick up Wo-Chien. So Wo-Chien is another Pokemon that I actually really love, and I think people sleep on it. Obviously, it has a lot of weaknesses. I mean, times 4 weak to U-turn is just never a good thing when half of the dex gets U-turn, or just another bug move. Wo-Chien, I think, is very solid with Terra. I think it's one of the best low-tier Terra captains available. It's very annoying with Ruination. I feel like you can never set up on it because of things like Leech Seed and Knockoff. It hits decently hard with things like Giga Drain and Dark Pulse, and its ability makes it very hard to break on the defensive or the special defensive side. We decided to go with Terra Dark for it. Terra Dark, so I did not lose that Dark typing. If needed be, we got Terra Fairy, like I said, because we wanted a defensive fairy and most of them were gone. And then we also got Terra Poison just in case we can't bring Glowbro, but we need something for Toxic Spikes, as well as not losing 2 Pokemon like Sneasler, which my team currently does not like very well outside of just like Glowbro. And mainly just kind of any other fighting type. Wo-Chien's Terras might change. I might try to throw something like water on there just because I am a little weak to fire. Alright, so this is the final squad for the team. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said in the very beginning, I think this is one of my favorite teams that I think I've ever drafted. It has a good mix of things that I've used before, things I haven't. It brings a lot of comfortability, as well as a lot of versatility with things like Deoxys, Valiant, Slowbro, Crook, even a Rocklanded. Raging Bolt, I'm very excited to use. Obviously, New Mon Syndrome is going to be on a lot of thumbnails. Iron Valiant's going to be a lot of fun. Deoxys is going to be a lot of fun. Even like Terra Wo-Chien. I feel like I'm going to have just a really fun time with this team, and I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time prepping for it. So yeah, if you guys like this team, feel free to let me know down in the comments. If you think I should make any changes, whether it's to the team or to the Terras, just let me know. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think my record is going to be for the season, and if I make it to playoffs, how far do you think I'm going to go? But yeah, we have a very stacked roster of coaches, so I'm very nervous, but at the same time, I like my chances. I'm confident. So yeah, I guess I will see you guys in the week 1 match. Peace.